I need my 2-year-old grandson to help me.
At the end of the line.
Oh yeah.
We did.
Here's the line right here.
Yeah, look at that. Metal sculpture, Wendy. On the wall.
Get in
Look at
line.
that, bro. See that spider? That's cool.
Yeah. There's their hydro.
That isn't very big. I thought it'd be way bigger than that.
Ladies and gentlemen, our 1/3 gardening plant is just getting underway.
They can only make them so
5
big.
minutes. Balanced water garden. How to keep a healthy and balanced water garden, presented by Moore Water Garden.
There's the front. See that regulator? Yeah, it's a switch. They switch between the two. Yeah.
And they hard pipe it in.
Yeah.
Kind of did the butcher blocks like you, Rob.
See how small it is?
Holy shit.
Nice big shower, though.
Oh yeah.
That's a nice top. That's like yours.
Bamboo. Yeah. Butcher
Yeah.
block or
I
whatever.
want to see this on demand.
Well, it's on the outside of the.
Oh, got the stove.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They used,
They used up all the space with the way they could. Gas stove.
easy to remember.
Bedroom's up there.
Take a look. It says, please do not enter the loft. Know your luck. Oops.
I don't even want to go up there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep. Hey guys, Rob here from the Off-Grid Tiny House. Sitting in my truck. I went to the there was a home show on, and home and garden show, and they actually had a tiny house there, which I took a tour of and took some video of, and it was insane. Like, these guys, like, the tiny house looks real nice, but they wanted 60 grand for this thing. So, and the worst part is, you had to hook it up to utilities. You had to hook it up to sewage for the toilet and the shower and all that stuff. You had to hook it up to power because they had theirs set up for electric. They actually had electric baseboard heat for that tiny house, which I was just shaking my head at, but there you go. I know I've never been in a tiny house before other than my own, and I'm glad I went my route because I do not like the loft with the ladder at all for sleeping. And my parents were with me and they also said the same thing. And there's quite a few elderly people there looking for maybe a retirement alternative to a retirement house type of deal. But the loft wouldn't work for them either. So now if they didn't have a loft, the bed would take up half the tiny house and you'd be stuck with, and then the bathroom, you'd have no space. So I'm glad I went my route with the tiny house. Theirs was like, I think it was 300 square feet. It was smaller inside because they insulated it well, but when I was in the kitchen area, I took up basically the walkway. You'd have to be single to live in that thing, basically. There'd be no way for 2 people or more. But then again, that was the model they were showing. I took a brochure. They said they would have, they can design it whatever you want. You can get a DIY model where they just give you the shell and you finish it off, which I thought was a good idea. I did like the windows in that tiny house across the top for ventilation. Get rid of the heat. though I did not like the loft, so it was kind of a downer for me. And 60 grand, guys. Sorry, but I did my entire tiny house for just over 20, and that includes solar, power, composting toilet, gas, fireplace, the whole yard. So I was kind of shocked, and a lot of people were shocked at the price. So it's kind of ridiculous, but I'm pretty happy. Like that was my first tour, and I'm glad I didn't go that route. It was just too small for me. I think it was the size of, in my tiny house, from the fire. It was from the end of my kitchen kitchen counter to the bathroom, and that was as big as their tiny house. And if you guys know any perspective in my place, that's not that big. So I'm really happy with my choice now that I've been in another tiny house. I know my house doesn't look professionally decorated and done up, but the cost savings compared to theirs to mine, wow. So crazy, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. That's just my perspective on the whole deal, and I think I made off like a bandit with my tiny house. Anybody buying these prefab ones, it's pretty scary. Oh, the other thing he mentioned, to pull the tiny house, you would need a Ford F1 250 model, they recommend, because of the weight. So that's another thing to think about. What else? They had a tankless hot water tank. It was in the outside of the unit with a little locked hatch, and I saw the 220 feed going in, so it was feeding a panel box inside the tiny house. So that's okay. But that was just goofy. For 60 grand, guys, that's insane. If I had 60 grand for my tiny house, oh man, I'd be complete. It'd look nice, and I'd have enough solar and stuff going on that I wouldn't have to worry about anything. So I'm really happy, and that's all I can say for now, guys.
Wow. Dragonfly's cool. Yeah, do them all. Solar. Those are from the dollar store. Dollar Tree. Nice little. And then they got singles. They're asking 20 for that.